Hi, I am guessing that we're live, but please bear with me just to check that we are. Yes. Wonderful. So welcome everybody to today's Yin Yang Yoga class. For anyone who hasn't done it before, we bring two different approaches to yoga together: the Yin form, so the passive, still, meditative form, and the Yang, which is movement, more active. So we bring them together for balance. I can't remember if I said that together already or not. Anyway, that's what we're doing. So today, these classes are approximately 40 to 45 minutes long. And today's session is a continuation of last week, called Back and Forth Yin Yang Yoga. And basically the idea is that we're going backwards and forwards so that we are exercising those two movements of the spine, with the idea being to try and release some of the tension, to bring some movement in. So very much focused on the back today. You can do this one by itself, you don't need to have done last week, but if you do want to, then just check my videos and you can find it there. You can do it before or after this session. So what we're going to do today is we're actually going to start with the Yin Yoga, and anyone who hasn't done Yin Yoga before, this is generally done on the floor and we remain in the poses for several minutes in relative stillness. So it can be quite challenging, but it can also be fantastic at really releasing tension within the body, which is what we're planning to do today. So whilst last week we were going forwards in the Yin Yoga and backwards in the Yang Yoga, this time we're going the other way. So we're going to start with the Yin Yoga going backwards. So we're going to start with a frog series. You might want to roll up a blanket, as I've done here, because we're going to be putting the knees on it, or you might not, it's up to you, depends how fragile your knees are. So I want you to go into child's pose, kneeling, and then separate the knees to your natural stopping point, which is what we always do with Yin Yoga, to your natural stopping point, no further, and then we're going to fold forward. But because we are wanting to open up the back, open up the front and compress the back, what we're going to do is we're going to go forward, but we're going to put the elbows on the floor and we're going to rest our chin in our hands. So what we want to be feeling here is, as our main target area, as I mentioned, is an opening of the front and a compression of the back. So all of these Yin poses, this is what we want. In this particular Yin pose, probably, not definitely, but probably you're going to be feeling that back bend more in the upper back, and you may well be feeling it in the shoulders as well. If you would like a bit more of a back bend, then you can move the elbows forward. If you want a bit less, if it's too much, then move the elbows towards you. So play with that. You can also play with the position of the hips if you like. You can push them down a bit, as long as you're not, as long as it's still passive. That is important in Yin Yoga. Hello everybody, sorry I didn't see you pop up, I've just seen you now. And you can also separate the elbows if you want to, or bring them closer together. You also are probably, although not definitely, feeling a stretch on the inside thighs. That's our secondary target area. If you would like more stretch, try opening the legs a bit more. If you want less, close the knees. So we've been in this for about a minute and a half. So I'm going to keep us here for another minute and a half as well, just over. So when you're in your Yin Yoga pose, for those of you who haven't done much or any Yin before, what we do is we go to our natural stopping point, as I mentioned at the beginning, and we don't go any further. We go to the natural stopping point and then we allow ourselves to relax into the pose. And what is really important in Yin Yoga, but actually in all the yoga that I teach, is I teach functionally, is not what it looks like, but what it feels like. So if you don't look like me, that's fine. You're using me as a general shape and you're adapting the pose so that it suits you. So your elbows may be in a completely different position or a slightly different position. Your knees may be closer together, they may be further apart. Your feet may be perhaps a little bit further apart, but don't go too far because we're going to move into our next pose. We're going to be separating the feet. So we want to be feeling a stimulation in these target areas in the back and in the legs, but without pushing. We want to be stimulating, we want to be feeling the stretch by relaxing into the pose. So just another half minute or so here. Close the eyes if it's comfortable. And we're going to move directly from this tadpole into frog. So keep the legs where they are for now. You can just place the hands on the floor if you like. And bring the hips up a bit. Separate the feet, again to your natural stopping point. And then you can drop back a bit. Now just drop to the point where you're starting to feel that stretch on the inside thighs. For some people, they may be sitting really far back. For others, they may be really have their hips really quite high up in the air. So play with the position of that. You can play with the position of the feet as well. You might want to separate them a little bit, or you might want to separate them more. And this can be quite intense for a lot of people. All poses can be intense, depending on how you do them, of course, but just find where your hips need to be to feel that stretch on the inside thigh, general area, but you're not pushing and it's not hurting. Hurting means injury, so don't do that, please. And what I also want to do is still keep a bit of a back bend. So you can choose to maybe go up on the hands, see how that feels in the back. Maybe there's a bit more compression in the lower spine, which is fine as long as, again, it's stimulation, not hurting you. Or you might prefer to go on the elbows. You can fold over if you like, but actually, as I said, we are going for this bit of a back bend here, so I want a bit of an arch, a bit or a lot. Try it. As long as we've got that stretch on the inside thighs and an arch, and you can relax into it. And then we're going to stay here for 2 minutes now. Again, close your eyes. Notice where you're feeling that stretch. And if it gets too much at any point, then back off. So for example, if it gets too much in the inside thighs, you might want to bring the hips up or maybe bring the feet back together or a bit closer together. And notice with the spine here, Are you feeling as much stimulation as in the first pose, as in tadpole, or less? And which part of the back is it? Is it the same area or is it different? For me, the first one was more in the upper back and this is a bit more in the middle of the back, but that's my body and it may be completely different for you or it may be the same. There's no right or wrong. Keep the muscles soft. Half a minute or so. And as I said, if it gets too much, then just bring the hips up or maybe move the feet closer. If you feel that actually you'd like a little bit more for this last part, do the opposite. Separate the feet a bit or maybe bring the hips down a bit, as long as you're not pushing. And then just relax into it once more. Do not overdo it. That's too much for me. So we're going to move into the next variation of this, which is bullfrog, some people might call it. So basically, we're going to slide forward. We're going to slide forward. We're keeping these knees apart, but we're separating the legs or the feet even more. So in this kind of cobra with the back, but the legs are separate and they're more froggy. So, however, this is the general shape and our main target area is the back. So if you're finding that this isn't working in the legs for you, one thing you could try is you could bend the knees and bring the soles of the feet together. The likelihood is this might give you a bit more compression in the lower spine. This is one option. And the other option is just to generally play with the legs. Maybe having them bent isn't working. Maybe you want to straighten them. With them separate. Or perhaps you might just want to move into cobra, bringing the legs closer together or somewhere in the middle. As I said, our key target area here is the back, is the spine. So you can be on the elbows. Let's start on the elbows, actually. Palms together or on the floor. If you want a bit more arch in the spine, you can bring the elbows closer towards you. If you want less, you can take them further away. We're just going to stay here for just over 2 minutes in cobra or in bullfrog, whichever variation you're in. Close your eyes. How does the back feel? The shoulders can shrug up in this pose, that's absolutely fine. Now if you're finding this isn't really doing very much for you, as I said, one option is to bend your knees to get more compression in the lower spine, maybe bringing the legs closer to one another. See how that feels. Or if you would like more of an arch in the whole back, then you can either put something underneath your elbows, anything which raises you up. Again, playing with the position of your elbows. Maybe bending the knees as well, perhaps. Play with it and see. Try it. Relax into it. Listen to the body, listen to the back. Is this okay to stay in for another 2 minutes or so? Am I feeling that the back is being stimulated but without hurting myself? And if you find that actually that's not enough, then you can go into seal, where you put the hands on the floor and the arms are straight or maybe a little bit bent. Position the fingers wherever is comfortable for you. But don't feel that you should be moving into this pose. Only do this if you feel that you want more back bend. And you should be able to stay in this pose relatively still for the next minute or so. Of course, backing off or coming down if it gets too much. So let's just close our eyes. Soften the muscles and enjoy this deep yin pose. So we're going to move out of this. We're going to move into a rebound before we move on to the yang part. So if you're up on your hands, bend the elbows and just come down. Whatever position you're in, come down. And your back will probably be feeling very fragile. We've just done about 15 minutes of back bends there. You might want to bring the legs together if they're separate, and then just allow your head to relax, either onto your hands or onto the floor. And we're going to make this a fairly long rebound so that you can draw your attention to how the back feels and what's going on there after those back bends. We're going to be here for about 1.5 minutes, so just enjoy this rebound. Try not to think of it as dead time. This is when the magic happens. And if you have your head one way, then just take it the other way. And then from here, as I said, your back may well feel fragile, but it will pass. It may have passed already. We're just going to move back gently, hands and knees, push back very gently into a child's pose. Slowly. And you can just move into whatever variation of child's pose you want. Just as a counter pose, we're going to start the forward folds, the folding of the back. And when you're ready, you can just roll up. So this time, just before we start with the forward folds, this is the Yang section. Then if you did the class last week, I imagine I would have said that with a Yin forward fold, we are curving the spine, we're stretching the back. So what we're trying to do in this particular session anyway, with the Yang, is we are aiming to strengthen the back muscles. So hence when we fold, we are aiming to fold from the hips with a straight back in general. Yeah, so not curved like you would in Yin. So let's start, mind you saying that in this warm-up we are going to curve the spine, but we're going to start with a couple of cat-cows, but gentle to begin with. So as you breathe in, arch the spine. As you breathe out, then round the spine. And you can move the hips whatever way you want to. Keep this organic. Breathe in. Breathe out. Curve the spine, move the hips however you want. You don't need to do it with me. Do it in your own time. We're going to do a few of these. Arching and curving. Moving the hips in whatever way you want. Doing it with the breath. Listening to the body. How does it want to move? And on your next out breath, tuck the toes under. Let's move into our first down dog, a fairly gentle down dog, keeping the knees bent, pushing the hips back, slowly straightening the legs, but you can keep the knees bent, that's absolutely fine. Bringing the heels towards the floor to stretch the legs, bending one knee and another. To feel the stretch on the backs of the thighs. You can lift the toes up if you want to. You can again move the hips from side to side. What's your body asking for now? Just to warm it up for the Yang. And then just moving into stillness for a couple of moments. And then on the next out breath, bringing the knees back down again. So I'm just going to start by showing you the poses we're going to use in the flow. So bring the right foot forward between the hands. So we're going to start with the hands on either side of this foot. Move the foot so that you don't feel any pressure in the knee. You can tuck the back toe under if you like, but the knee is still on the floor. And then what I want you to do is as you breathe in, you might want to use blocks here, perhaps, maybe not. As you breathe in, then you're coming up. So maybe your fingertips are up on the floor. We're straightening the back here, or you can put your hands or your fingertips again on the blocks. And then as you breathe out, you are folding from the hips with a straight back. Don't worry if you're not going far. It doesn't matter at all. I want you to notice where you can feel that stretch. Is it more in the front leg or is it more in these back hip flexors? How's that feeling? Breathe in again, coming up, perhaps again using the blocks. Move the right foot a bit to the right, and this time put the hands on the inside of the foot. As you breathe out, then gently come down. Again, to your natural stopping point. Don't put too much pressure on yourself. And maybe for some people, they're going to come down lower than this. They might want to move their hands forward a bit or come down onto their elbows. Notice again where you're feeling this. Is it more on the right leg, the back hip flexor, or maybe a different place? Keep the legs strong. come up. As you breathe in, more of a flat back. And then let's just do it one more time. As you breathe out, we're coming down, and in fact, you can straighten that back leg, keeping that back leg strong. Again, coming down onto the hands, maybe the elbows, but keeping both of these legs strong, noticing where you feel it in the legs. Maybe you might want to move up and down a little bit. And if this gets too much at any point, just bring the knee down. Everyone bring your knees down, actually. Okay, bring that knee back and move into child's pose. Stretch the arms out. Coming up, this time bringing the left foot in between the hands. Use the blocks if you want to. Breathe in. So we're straightening the back. Hands are on either side of the foot, but breathe out and you're folding forward with this straight back. Notice where you feel this. Where do you feel this? Try folding on the right side and try folding over the leg and see how that changes where you're feeling the stretch. So we're just playing with this basically. Breathe in, going flat back again. Putting both hands on the inside of the left foot, moving the left foot a bit further to the left as you breathe out, keeping that flat back, folding forward, hands, or moving the hands forward or going down onto the elbows, keeping the legs strong, noticing where you feel this. Don't overdo it. Breathe in, coming up. Tucking the back toe under if it isn't tucked already, straightening that back leg, keeping strength in the back leg, strengthening, tightening the muscles, and then again from the hips, folding forward, noticing, checking everything is okay. And if it doesn't feel okay, bring that back knee down if you need to. Everybody bring that back knee down. And then the front foot comes back. And again, I imagine you're feeling that in the legs. I am. Stretching the arms out. Okay, coming back to hands and knees again. This time bringing the right foot between the hands. Tucking the left toes under. And then what we're going to do is you're going to straighten that back leg again. You might want to bring the back foot a bit forward, but I want you to bring the back heel down. Get some stability here. The front leg is bent, the toes are pointing forward, and you want to be, your hips are going forward as well. Press into the ground as you breathe in, you're coming up, stretching up. Adjust the feet if you need to. This front knee should be feeling stable, and move the foot if you need to again. For most people, the knee is over the ankle, but not necessarily for all. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, bring the hands behind the back. Open up the chest. So we're looking up, we're bringing a bit of a back bend in. Breathe in again, and as you breathe out, fold forward over this front leg, keeping the back straight again. Breathe in, bringing the arms up again. Don't worry if the hands don't touch, by the way, that doesn't matter. Breathe out, drop the hands down, coming up, breathing in, stretching up. And then going onto the ball of the back foot, bringing the hands down, and then moving into another down dog. You can pedal out the down dog if you want to. Move with the down dog or keep it still. Knees back down. Again, we're going to do that to the other side. This time the left foot goes forward. Adjust the position. We've got time in this bit to adjust the position. Back toe is tucked under. Push into that back toe. Back leg is straight. Again, adjust that back foot. Yeah, so the heel is on the floor. And then as you breathe in, stretch up. Now you may find that the position of the feet isn't working. By the way, they're not directly in line. The back leg, there is some space. The back leg here, the back foot is a bit more to the right. So there's some space in between the front foot and the back foot. Adjust as you need to so that the hips are pointing forwards. Doesn't necessarily need to be the same as me. Breathe in, stretch up. And drop into that knee. Check the knee is okay. Arms come down behind the back. Breathe in, look up. Breathe out, folding forward. Again, adjust the feet if you need to at any point. No pain, only stimulation. Notice where you feel this in the leg. As you breathe in, you can bring the arms up a bit more. As you breathe out, drop the hands down. Coming up, stretch up. And then again, swivel on that back toe. Bring the hands down and move into down dog. Static or moving. And then you can walk or you can jump, whatever you prefer, bending the knees if you're going to jump to the front of the mat. Going to flat back here. Hands might be on your legs or in the air or on the floor. Fold forward. Knees are bent or straight. And then we're coming up to a standing position, palms in front of the heart. So we're going to take those poses into a flow. Check the time's okay. Yep, okay, great. So I want you to stand at one edge of your mat. And we're going to do a vinyasa, a flow, using those poses, which I said already. Yes, okay. So stand at the front of your mat. Bring the palms together in front of the heart. Just come to your breath for a few moments, rooting into the floor, top of the head towards the ceiling, straightening, strengthening the body, strong legs, shoulders up and back, open chest, shoulder blades moving towards each other. Effort, yang, but not over the top. So we're going to do a slow flow with the breath. So breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, palms together, fold forward from the hips. Breathe in, go to flat back. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, right foot goes back. Breathe out, push that heel down. Breathe in, left hand goes on the inside of the foot. Breathe out, then we move, pushing down. Breathe in, coming back up. Breathe out, move to down dog. Breathe in, go to plank. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin or chaturanga. Breathe in, go to cobra or sphinx. Breathe out, go to child's pose, tuck the toes. Breathe in, move back into down dog. Breathe out, push the heels down. Breathe in, go down onto your knees. Breathe out, that right foot between the hands. Breathe in, adjust the back foot again. Breathe out, stay here. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, hands behind the back. Open the chest. Breathe in, open the chest some more, hands go up. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, arms go up a bit more. Breathe out, drop the hands down on either side of the foot. Breathe in, come up again. Breathe out, move into warrior two. Move the back foot if you need to. Breathe in, Both toes go forward, stretch up. Breathe out, warrior two to the other side. Breathe in, swivel on that back foot. Warrior one. Breathe out, drop down into the knee. Breathe in, arms go back. Open the chest. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, arms go up. Breathe out, drop the hands down. Breathe in, swivel on that back foot. Down dog. Breathe out, stay here. Breathe in. Breathe out, coming down, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Breathe in, go to cobra or sphinx. Breathe out, back into child's pose. Breathe in, moving back into down dog. Breathe out, bringing the knees down again. Breathe in, take the the right foot forward. Breathe out, right hand on the inside, drop down. Breathe in, coming up, straightening the back leg. Breathe out, bringing the back leg to the front foot. Breathe in, go to flat back. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, palms in front of the heart. We'll do the other side. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, palms together, fold from the hips. Breathe in, go to flat back. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, left foot goes back. Breathe out, push that left heel down. Breathe in, right hand goes on the inside of the foot. Breathe out, coming down. Breathe in, move to down dog. Breathe out, stay here, heels towards the floor. Breathe in, coming to plank. Breathe out, knees, chest, chin, or chaturanga. Breathe in, come to cobra or sphinx. Breathe out, back into child's pose. Breathe in, move to down dog. Breathe out, down, back onto your knees. Breathe in, left foot goes forward. Breathe out, change that back foot, ready to come up. Breathe in, stretch up. Keep the front knee bent. Breathe out, hands behind the back. Breathe in, open up the chest. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, hands go up. Breathe out, hands come down on either side of the foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. I've forgotten what's next. Breathe in. Breathe out. Sorry, I've totally forgotten. Breathe in, yes, coming up, stretching up. Breathe out, go to warrior two. Breathe in, both toes go forward, stretch up. Breathe out, warrior other side. Breathe in, twist on that back foot, warrior. Breathe out, folding forward. Breathe in, going to down dog. Breathe out, bringing the heels towards the floor. Breathe in, plank. Breathe out, chaturanga or knees, chest, chin. Breathe in, cobra. Breathe out, moving to child's pose. Breathe in, move to down dog. Breathe out, bringing the knees down again. Breathe in, left foot goes forward. Breathe out, hand on the inside. Breathe in, fold. Breathe out. Breathe in, hand goes on the other side. Breathe out, back foot to front foot. Breathe in, go to flat back. Breathe out, fold forward. Breathe in, stretch up. Breathe out, hands in front of the heart. Close your eyes for a moment. Let your arms come down by your sides. Notice how you're feeling. Notice how the back is feeling, how the front is feeling. When we open the front, we stretch the back and vice versa. We compress the back, sorry. And when you're ready, if you want to make your way down to the floor, we're going to move into Shavasana. So just make yourself comfortable. And you can choose to lie on your back, or your front, or your side, whatever is comfortable for you. Or if you would like to sit for these last few minutes, then you are welcome to do that. And wherever you are, close your eyes. Notice how you feel. How does the front feel? How does the back feel? How is your breath? What's your temperature like? And then just bring your attention to you lying here or sitting here. And see if you can just let your muscles soften. Just allow yourself to relax for the next few minutes. So if you would like to start making your way back up to a seated position to join me. And then when you arrive, just allowing yourself to just be here for a couple more moments before you move on. Perhaps closing your eyes. Checking in. How you're feeling. And then just to finish together, let's bring the arms out to the sides, up above, palms together, bringing them down so that they graze the nose, the lips, the chin, to rest in front of the heart. Just take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. From my practice to yours. Namaste. Thank you for joining me. To those of you who have been before and to any new students, if anybody enjoyed, I hope that you did. If anybody would like to join me at my Pure Yin Yoga class on Thursday, then please check my events page. This week it's going to be focused on the animals that many Yin Yoga poses are named after, emulating the characteristics of the animals in our practice. So that should be a really nice one. Yeah, and that's all I have to say. Thank you so much for joining me. And if I don't see you on Thursday, then I hope to see you again next week. Let me know what you thought of this class, either messages or posts. It would always be great to know what you think. Thank you so much.